Hi and welcome to At the Wheel. This is the first video on the channel in 2022, and I thought that I would take the opportunity to lay out my plan for what's coming in the next year, what is sort of a few things that I want to change at least for the next couple weeks or months, and a few little changes that have happened that should mean things can be more interesting and exciting for you over the coming weeks, month, and over the rest of the year. I should also ask that basically I really want to know what you think of the content, what you're enjoying watching, maybe what you aren't enjoying as much, and if you have any suggestions for things that I maybe should cover or haven't covered or maybe want to see instead, feel free to let me know in the comments down below because I would love to hear your thoughts. Now, the first thing that I want to mention is my plan for the next coming sort of couple weeks and potentially months, sort of see how it goes. But long story short, I am currently incredibly just absolutely overwhelmed. I am, I suppose, working to a point where it's very much unsustainable. I am very much at my limit or greater, because while I do make sort of only one video a week for this channel, as hopefully many of you know, I also make 3 videos a week for my tech channel, TechTeamGB. I've also been building an entire product called the Open Source Response Time Tool, which has been taking up a lot of my already non-existent free time. And I also run a global link shortening service called Locally Linked, so managing and working on that. All of those things take away from, well, I just don't really have spare time. In fact, I actually have sort of negative spare time because I'm pretty much working at 100% capacity 24/7. Everything is a rush, everything is a mad dash to just be, you know, working, busy, getting things done. And so that means that it's not sustainable for me. I certainly couldn't get any press cars in to review them because that is a relatively large commitment. You get given a car for a week and you have a week to, you know, go drive it, to film it, to, well, in my case, write a script to get all of the filming done, and even if I don't, you know, edit it and publish it that week or, you know, the next week after, it's still an insane amount of work and time dedication that is required that there is just absolutely no way I could achieve right now. And so my plan for the next couple weeks and months, depending on how it goes, is to post videos every other week instead. So instead of every Tuesday, it's every other Tuesday. That means that I will have some more time to be able to, well, make some sort of content backlog, to be able to still be posting things out without having to have a mad dash to get something done to post it this week. And so I hope that will mean that the video content can be better, can be more enjoyable, informative, better sort of researched and written, and just generally better to enjoy and watch. So that's the main plan. I'll kind of keep you updated if I plan on sort of reverting back to once a week. But that's the main idea. Also, for those who will inevitably ask, why don't I just post whenever I have a video ready? Unfortunately, the way that my brain works is that doesn't really compute for me. I kind of have to have a schedule to be, you know, posting on, deadlines to meet, because otherwise there is always something else that will be more pressing, and so I need that sort of requirement to have that, you know, done for this Tuesday, whatever, so that it gets actually sort of scheduled in correctly and that it actually happens. Otherwise, something else that's more pressing will happen first, and then I just won't do it. So that's the answer to that one. Now, with that said, talking about press cars, I'm actually quite happy to say that I am, well, probably by the time you're watching this, 25, which means that I can actually get on a number of the different sort of company insurance policies, which has been a bit of a limitation for me in terms of getting sort of press cars in. In fact, when I went to the SMMT test day, while I did manage to drive a great number of cars, including a Porsche Taycan, admittedly with an instructor sat next to me telling me exactly what to do, where to go and what to feel and that kind of thing, it still, was a great time, but the vast majority of cars that were available for me to drive around there were limited to age 25 and over, which means that I wasn't able to drive a lot of them, and the same happens with the press fleet cars. Now, it's not perfect. There are still some vehicles that their insurance policies require you to be things like 28 or 30. In fact, I was potentially going to be on the sort of reviewer list for the Ford Mustang Mach-E, but their insurance required me to be 28. And so obviously that's not going to happen for a fair while yet, but there are a number of cars that require me to be 25, and so that will now be a possibility. And so that, combined with the wonderfully growing subscriber count, should mean that the different automakers will be more willing to provide me with a variety of cars for me to check out. And so I'm hoping that I'll be able to do at least a couple of cars during 2022 as sort of proper reviews, and we'll sort of see how we go from there. Of course, COVID is still somewhat of a bottleneck in terms of what I am both able and just comfortable, willing to do, especially when it comes to things like the wonderful subscribers and viewers who have offered their cars for me to test drive and do videos and reviews on. And so that's something that, while I definitely want to sort of, I guess, engage in to do at some point this year, I think it will still be, and obviously my sort of being overworking myself to death, those different factors do make that somewhat difficult. So it's something that I would like to do, but we'll sort of see how it goes over the course of the year, potentially more in the sort of summertime, where obviously things like the weather will be nicer, and so that's definitely a good benefit. But it would also be nice to try and do some form of event this year. I'm not quite sure what the sort of availability and things would be, but I'll see if we can work it out. As for the rest of the content, well, as always, both of my cars, my friends' cars and family's cars, almost always have things going wrong with them, and so I always have some sort of content ideas there of things that are broken that could really do with fixing. Even just dumb little things like our Mini's rear boot struts are gone. They're utterly useless, and so I need to replace those. And so when I do eventually get around to remembering to order some, I will probably do a little guide on that. My Audi's or my S4's front upper control arms, the two ones with the ball joint, the bushings on those are on their way out. I think it would fail an MOT this year. So I'm going to do those at some point in probably the not too distant future, so have a look out for that one. I also got a little paint chip repair kit for Christmas, because my bonnet has a good number of starting to rust little chips, so I'll probably do a video on that. So yeah, lots of things still to come, especially on this sort of repair and guides front. But I suppose that brings us nicely on to hearing from you. I would love to hear what you think of the content. What is it that you like seeing from the channel, from me? Is the repair stuff, still enjoyable to watch? Do you only care about reviews, or do you like the mix? Do you prefer one or the other? Is there actually a style of the sort of repair videos that I've done that you prefer, the sort of more vloggy style, or the more concise, here is exactly how you do this thing? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, if there's anything you'd like to see me cover, anything you'd like to see me explain, demonstrate, or potentially fix. I know a few people were asking about sort of different vehicles and I don't know, more sort of US specific vehicles, for example. The trouble with that one is that I can only fix what I have access to, and what I have access to is cars that you generally find in Britain, which is generally either European vehicles or, I suppose, Japanese for the sort of Hondas and things of the world. But yeah, that's kind of the limitation for that one. But if I can get some access to some, then I certainly will. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And with that said, that's kind of it. My plan, like I said, for the year is to take it a little bit slow towards the start so that I can effectively, you know, sort of mentally recover and have any amount of sort of time to myself, if you like. Hopefully, as the response time tool is well launched and getting things out, I will then have a bit more sort of mental time and energy to sort of spare, if you like. And so, in theory, I might be able to go back to once per week instead, but we'll see how it goes, and I'll obviously keep you up to date. Of course, if you want to stay up to date on the videos, if you haven't already, if you're watching this but you haven't, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification icon. I'm kind of surprised if you are, but hey, there you go. Also, you can stay up to date on our Discord as well. That's linked in the description down below. Check out the At The Wheel Videos channel. And yeah, I hope you guys had a nice Christmas. I wish you a very happy New Year. And yeah, we'll see you all in a couple of weeks.